Out of Abraham, who did the Lord say, tell Abraham who the chosen people would be?
The chosen people?
Yes.
The Jews.
Right. Which come out of whose seed?
I get one question. So, what you just said, according to the Bible, and with your knowledge, do you know who the real Jews are according to the Bible? And what color are they?
I'm looking at them.
Right.
That's it.
There you
I'm
go.
a lawyer. That's
There
all I can say right there.
There
We'll
you
wrap
go.
that up.
Very good.
Very important, and that's marriage. Because in this country, there's a lot of confusion about marriage. So in order for us to get to the root of this marriage, we must, I repeat again, we must begin and go to the Bible. And that's what we plan to do here today. So I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just here to give you the facts as they're written in the book. And we will begin with marriage. Marriage is an institution instituted by the Most High. And the first marriage took place in the Garden of Eden. So right now, we're going into in the Genesis, it said, the Lord said, the Lord married those two and brought them together. And they became man and woman. Now we're going to start reading in Genesis 12:29 about Abraham and Sarah. We're going through the Bible, and bring it up to date. And you can do your own judgment concerning marriage. All right, give me Genesis 11:29 and read.
And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah.
These are the marriages of Abraham. Now we're going to Genesis 12:13. Genesis, come along with me, get your Bibles, and we'll study together. You're going to read Genesis 12:13.
Okay. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee.
All right, 20th chapter and the 3rd verse.
Okay.
The reason Abraham said that because she was his half-sister, and she became his wife. So the reason he should read the story, the reason he said this, because he didn't want the Egyptians to kill him because of his wife, and she was very beautiful. So read on now.
Okay. Genesis 20:3.
3.
But the Most High came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife.
Yeah, see, because this is the same Sarah. And the Lord came to him at night and gave him a vision about this woman. So now we're going to read on 9 to 10. 9 to 16, the same chapter.
Okay.
9th verse and to the 16th verse.
Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou, that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of the Most High is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister, She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it came to pass, when the Most High caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, He is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen, and men servants, and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before thee, dwell where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of the eyes, unto all that are with thee, and with all others. Thus she was reproved.
All right, now let's go to Genesis 24:3.
Okay. Genesis 24 verse 3. And I will make thee swear by the Most High, the Father of heaven, and the Father of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell.
Yeah, that was dealing with Jacob. The Most High didn't want him to go out and marry women of other nations. Isaac. He didn't want Isaac to go out and marry women of other nations. And it's the same thing today. You're not supposed to go and marry without your nation. You're supposed to you're supposed to marry within your nation. All right, now read the other scriptures I told you about. 29, Genesis 29, 15 and 30. You can go along with me. Read it in your Bible. Genesis 29, 15 to 30.
Okay. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said to Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for an handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, It must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went out and also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years.
Now, this is a story about a man and 2 women. Jacob saw Rachel and he loved her. And he worked 7 years for her. You brothers go through that. After working 7 years, his father-in-law tricked him. He gave him the oldest daughter, which was their custom. And he told David he had to work another 7 years if he wanted to marry Rachel. David fulfilled those years. 7 years for the woman he loved. So you brothers have to learn how to wait after you become engaged till you accomplish something. Get a home, get your car, get your furniture, get your house set up. Then you go and take your bride and bring her in there. I'm bringing it up through the date now. We're bringing it up through time. In the ancient time up to now. Okay, now we'll read Genesis 2:21.
Okay. Genesis 2 verses 21. And the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Now, this wife that Adam had taken was taken from the rib of the man. Now, it doesn't mean a literary rib. It means that it was taken from his relatives,
Right,
his family tree, and she was brought to him. Now we're going to find out what happened to this woman. Let's see. Read now 29. Genesis 24. We went over that. Where did we stop at?
Genesis 2 and 21. I just read.
Okay, now let's go to Genesis 29.
This is 29. Okay. 29 and...
You know, sorry.
Oh, first verse.
Well, ask the parents to proclaim him a wife.
Okay, 29 and 1. Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field. And lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by. For out of that well they watered the flocks. And a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered. And they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot, until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him a space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said to Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him. And he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for an handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, It must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou hast served with me, yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and served with him yet 7 other years.
Yeah, this is dealing with the parents' consent and parents' contract. Now we'll jump to the parents to secure their, parents to secure their favor. In other words, the parents' contract had to be between the parents. Now we're going to read Genesis 24:53. Genesis 24:53.
Okay. And the servant that brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment and gave them to Rebekah, he gave also to her brother and to her mother's precious things.
See, back there, they gave gifts, beautiful gifts to the bride. That's where they get this idea of giving gifts to the bridegroom and the bride. Their parents did that. Other people brought gifts. All right, now we're reading on. Genesis 34:12. 34:12. See, that was a custom back there. They give gifts. Beautiful gifts. Go ahead.
Genesis 34:12. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife.
See, he was willing to pay the money, give him the danger for his wife. All right, continuing on, 1 Samuel 18:25. We're dealing with marriage now. Showing you back there, men and women had to get consent from their parents before they could marry. Now we're going to read 1 Samuel 18:25.
And Saul said, Thus shall ye say to David, The king desireth not any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines, to be avenged of the king's enemies. But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines.
All right. The next one is Hosea. Hosea 3:2.
Hosea 3 verse 2. So I brought her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and for an homer of barley, and an half homer of barley.
Yeah, see, we used to point out to you. Point is this. We used to pay gifts for our women. Some call it buying a woman. Like you buy a horse, dog, or cat. But nevertheless, they had to pay something for this woman. And we're proving this to you. Now let's read Genesis 29:22. Naphtali's feast. So they had big feasts back there. A wedding meant something back there. It was love. They were understanding. And they followed the vow. The part that says, until death do us part. We will love, we will cherish, we will respect this man or this woman. And we will stick together until life do us part. The day the marriages last, I don't know. Marriage may last 6 months, a year, or 2 years, and you're jumping up, getting a divorce. All right, let's read about the feast they used to have. Genesis 29:22.
And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast.
Yeah, this feast is for Jacob. All right, now let's go to Judges 14:12. Judges 14 and 12. Showing you about marriages, real marriages. And we have to return back to those marriages. Here you got 2 out of every 5 getting married, divorcing. Now it's even higher, maybe 3 out of 5. And who suffers? The children. We're going to show you that later on. Because of your selfish reasons, your selfish self. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Judges 14 verse 12. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If ye can certainly declare it me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments.
All right. Purchasing and wife. All right, now let's move on. Let's read Matthew 22, 11, and 12. We're jumping from the Old Testament into the New Testament, proving to you that marriages was very important back then. And a lot of effort and time was given to a marriage, not a fly-by-night. All right.
Okay. Matthew 22, verse 11 and 12. And when the king came to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless.
All right, see, it was important. A wedding dress, a wedding gown was very important. So we're going on. Give me, I know about dealing with ceremonies now. Ceremonies. Give me John 2, 1-5. Show you that Yahushua, known as Jesus Christ, went to weddings.
John 2, 1-5. And the 3rd day there was a marriage in Canaan of Galilee, and the mother of Christ was there. And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus said unto him, They have no wine. Jesus said unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come. His mother said unto the servants, Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it.
All right, now we're going to look at some more of the rules of this marriage. The bridegroom is exempted 1 year from military duties. And we're going to show you that. Deuteronomy 24, 5. Deuteronomy 24, 5. In other words, young soldiers was exempted from service for a year. Now in this country, you can get married tonight and go in service tonight. You can get married tonight and be in service tomorrow. But Israel back there as a nation didn't have this type of situation going on. No. They gave you a year off to be with your wife. All right, let's read about it now.
Okay. Deuteronomy 24, verse 5. When a man hath taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year, and shall cheer up his wife which he hath taken.
Now, bridal ornaments. Let's check out the ornaments that they wore back then. Give me Isaiah 49 and 18. Isaiah 49 and 18. Taking my time, because I want you to understand the principles of marriage. It's very important. And we're going to read about it.
Okay. Lift up thine eyes round about, and behold, all these gather themselves together and come to thee. As I live, saith the Lord, thou shalt surely clothe thee with them all, as with an ornament, and bind them on thee as a bride doeth.
All right. Call that verse from out there.
Isaiah 49 verses 18.
Isaiah. All right. Let's read Genesis 24:53.
Okay. Verse 24 verse 53. One second. Okay. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah. He gave also to her brother and to her mother precious things.
See, back there, men gave precious gifts. They gave pure silver and pure gold, and brought gifts and gave it to them, presented to them. Now let's read Jeremiah 2:32. Jeremiah 2:32.
2 verse 32.
Jeremiah 2nd chapter, 32nd verse.
Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me, days without number.
Because we are the Most High's wife. And he's talking about spiritual things now, about us. Now we'll move back to the Psalms 45 and 12. Psalms 45 and 12.
Okay. And the daughter of Tyre shall be there with a gift. Even the rich among the people shall entreat thy favor.
Yeah, see? All right, Isaiah 61 and 10. Isaiah, for you that are out there, 61st chapter, and the 10th verse.
I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my Father, for he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels.
That's right. See, marriage was taken very seriously back then. The men gave their presents to the bridegroom. Further continuing, let's read on now. In other words, the wives was obtained by purchases. You didn't just jump up and marry a woman and didn't notify her people and didn't receive gifts. We're going to read that about this. Genesis 29:20. Proving to you that women were obtained by purchases. Genesis 29 and 20.
And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her.
Yeah, see, men work. They purchase their wife through labor or money or whatever. All right, now let's read on. 4:10, the fourth chapter. Ruth, the 4th chapter and the 10th verse. This is Ruth, the 4th chapter and the 10th verse. You see how she was a purchase.
4:10. Moreover, Ruth, the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife.
See, it says he purchased to be his wife. All right, go ahead.
To raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses this day.
That's right, he had to purchase her. Okay, now let's go and see. The kings back there had power to give women away. Now let's check it out. 1 Samuel 17:25. 1 Samuel 17. 1 Samuel 17:25.
Okay. And the men of Israel said, Have ye seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel.
Right. The purchase was that the king was going to give the man his wife, his daughter to be his wife. Now let's read on. Judges 1 and 12. Now, let me see. No, hold that. Let's go to 18. Judges 18, 17, and 21. Judges 18, 17, and 21.
And the 5 men that went to spy out the land went up and came in thither, and took the graven image, and the ephod, and the teraphim, and the molten image. And the priest stood in the entering of the gate with the 600 men that were appointed with weapons of war. And these went into Micah's house, and fetched the carved image, the ephod, and the teraphim, and the molten image. Then said the priest unto them, What do ye? And they said unto him, Hold thy peace, lay thy hand upon thy mouth, and go with us, and be to us a father and a priest. Is it better for thee to be a priest unto a house of one man, or that thou be a priest unto a tribe and a family in Israel? And the priest's heart was glad, and he took the ephod and the teraphim and the graven image, and went in the midst of the people. We said 25?
No, 21.
Oh, 21.
Right.
Okay.
Now let's go to Judges 1:12.
Judges 1:12. Okay, it says, And Caleb said, He that smiteth Kirjath-sepher and taketh it, to him will I give Achsah, my daughter, to wife.
All right. Let's read on 1 Samuel 17:25. 1 Samuel 17:25.
And the men of Israel said, Have ye seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel.
All right. Chapter 18:27.
Okay. Wherefore David arose and went, he and his men, and slew of the Philistines 200 men. And David brought their foreskins, and they gave them in full tale to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him Micah, his daughter, to wife.
That was because David killed the giant. That was a present that they gave him. Now comes a question. Should I or should I not marry any woman? Woman not of my race, not of my nation? Can I marry a woman that's not my countryman? Well, we're going to read what the scripture says about that. And this will settle that once and for all. There's too many mixed marriages now. All right, let's read. Exodus 34:16. Exodus 34:16 about this mixed marriages. See what the Most High has to say about that. Read.
And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a whoring after their gods.
See, the Lord don't want that. All right, Deuteronomy 7:3 and 4. Deuteronomy 7:3 and 4. And read.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his son shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly.
Now, Chronicles 23:22. Chronicles 23:22.
Okay. Was it First Chronicles?
Deuteronomy. First Chronicles.
Okay. 23, verse 22.
Yeah, 23rd chapter, 22nd verse.
And Eleazar died, and had no sons, but daughters, and their brethren, the sons of Kish, took them.
All right, it shows you what happened there. All right, give me Ezra 9, 1, 2, and 13. Ezra, the 9th chapter, first verse, second verse, and skip to the 12th verse. Read.
Okay. He said 9 and
1, 2, and then jump to 12.
Okay. Now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves, and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers hath been chief in this trespass. Verse 12. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever.
See, now this did not deal with race. With color. It dealt with nationalities and race. Now the next one is Nehemiah 10:30. Nehemiah 10 and 30.
10 and 30. And that we would not give our daughters unto the people of the land, nor take their daughters for our sons.
Now this was agreement. It was made. They did not go around mixing marriages. And read also the 13th chapter and the 26th and 27th verse. The same chapter.
Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his father. And the Most High made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our father in marrying strange wives?
That's right. He wasn't supposed to do that. Now we're going to read. Read on. 1 Corinthians 7:39.
Okay. 7:39. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord.
Now, what is the law concerning that? Can she get a divorce every year? 2 years? Huh? Like today, I venture to say 3 women out of 5 is getting a divorce. And we're going to read this precept again to you, showing you the commandment and the laws of the Heavenly Father. Read.
Okay. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth.
See, the scripture says she is bound. In other words, she is obligated to her husband as long as he lived. Okay.
But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord.
Yeah, only in the Lord. That means only in your religion. Read on.
That's it.
All right, that was 1 Corinthians. I get 2 Corinthians 6:14.
6:14. Okay. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness?
That's right. We'll go back over that again. Read on.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
See what the scripture says? Be not unequally yoked together. That means mixing the races. Go ahead.
For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness?
And what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? Girl that's negative, that's positive, living according to the laws of the Most High, have no right to marry a man that's not is not in the truth. Now those two can be the same couple. But if they ain't following the laws, then they should not marry. All right, let's move on. Go to Matthew 1:18 now. That's what you got now?
Matthew 1:18.
You read it?
No, not yet.
All right, Matthew 1:18.
Okay.
Showing you about marriage. Moving on now. Moving on into the future now. From the past back there.
Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise. When his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Spirit.
Now, this maximum conception is a bunch of nonsense. Joseph is the father of Yahweh, of Christ. No angel came down and put the baby in Mary. Baby was put in there by the man, his sperm. And his sperm was a human, was Joseph. So let's don't forget that, okay? All right, now let's go to Luke 1:27.
Okay. 27.
1:27.
To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary.
See, she was entranced to David. To Joseph.
Meaning engaged. They was engaged.
Yeah, she was engaged to David. To Joseph. Read on now. The same thing. Read on.
Okay. To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph.
Yeah, she was engaged to Joseph. Go ahead.
Of the house of David.
And David was out of the linkage of the house of David.
And the virgin's name was Mary.
And the virgin's name was Mary. All right, let's read on. Ezekiel 16:8.
Okay. 16.
Subject is dealing with marriage.
Okay. Now, when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over thee, and covered thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee, and entered into a covenant with thee, saith the Lord, and thou becamest mine.
That's right. Dealing with Israel. It's the Lord's people and his wife. Now read Judges 11:38.
And he said, Go. And he sent her away for 2 months. And she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains.
All right, Isaac 4:1.
Isaiah?
Yeah, Isaiah 4:1. Yeah, you read this story, but we just told you about Gideon, and you'd be surprised what you read about. You'll be amazed.
4:1.
4:1.
And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man.
Now this is for all you women that believe man should have one wife. Now it's plainly telling you in this scripture that in that day there will be 7 women to every man which will take hold of their skirt. Why? because there will be a shortage after this war. And there's about 11 women to every one man now. So brothers, you will be busy. And it says they will work for themselves. Just give the man's name to remove every reproach from their name. Okay, now let's go on. Let's go to Jeremiah 16:9. Jeremiah 16:9. See what he has to say about this. We're working on up. We're going to get to the other part. Just hold on.
For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the Father of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride.
All right. That's speaking about Israel again. Now, let's check on our obligations to our duty to the Father. Our obligations about marriage. Marriage obligation. All right, get me Deuteronomy 13:6. Read the 10th verse. Deuteronomy 13:6-10.
If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thy eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thy hand shall be the first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people.
This requires the penalty for serving other gods, and that is death. Like I explained to you a while ago, we're not to be equally yoked with unbelievers, and you're not to marry women out of your nation. Israel is good for that, and Israel have done that. And the example you see is O.J. Simpson. And in Trenton, New Jersey, they beat a brother, a Ephraimite, which is Puerto Rican. He's one of the nation of Israel. And he had a white woman going in the neighborhood, and they beat him to death. You know, many cases, you know cases like that. The Ku Klux Klan is right when they said you shouldn't marry, no white woman should not marry a black woman. Well, I'm saying to you from the house of David that a black man should not marry a white woman, or a Japanese woman, or an African woman. He should not marry out of his nation. Brother, the Lord has blessed our people. Do you know if you want one look like a white woman, you got her. Look like a Chinese woman, you got her among your people. Like a Korean or an African, you have them among your own people. So stay within your own people. I don't feel sorry for you to go out there and get the hell beat out of you for going with another foreigner's wife. Yeah, you take that Chinese woman and marry and go in their neighborhood. Applies to the African. I don't see you brothers grabbing them African women because they're not going to associate with you. Or Japanese women or Chinese women. So the Lord does not want you associating with them so-called other nations. Now to prove this, we'll go to Deuteronomy 7 and 3 and 4. Deuteronomy 7, 3 and 4. I want to prove this to you, brothers. And I want you to listen to me. I don't want to see any more of you get hurt.
Okay. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
See?
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly.
That's right. You're not supposed to mess with them people at all. Now let's go to Matthew 19 and 20. Go back to the duty of the Heavenly Father. That's the problem in this country and the world today. You don't want to go according to the laws of the Most High. And the laws that are given to you are from the Most High. The Constitution belongs to the nation of Israel. And every nation, every country, damn it, have used our Constitution to set up laws that work against us. This so-called white man in this country, his Constitution is geared against the nation of Israel. That's why they stayed in that. And a black man is only 3/5 of a man. And yet you brought that devil into the world. You're the father of all the nations. So let's wake up, learn your history. See what really goes down. All right, read on.
Matthew 19.
29.
Oh, okay. And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
That's right. That's a promise from the Most High, dealing mostly with Israelites. All right, let's read Luke 14:26. The nation of Israel belongs to the Heavenly Father. Can we get this clear? So you're the ones that he's specifying to do right. Time I look, got a white woman up under your arm. And it's causing you nothing but trouble. Ain't nothing wrong with the woman, she's a woman. But she's of another nation. And she'll lead you astray. That's why the Lord is telling you not to be mingling with her. All right, read on.
Luke 14, verse 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
I'm telling you the grounds and condition that you must accept the Father on. And marrying out of your nation is damn sure one of those laws. Now let's go to other words. But now what? There's a question. All right, you're teaching me these things. I believe you. But what if my husband died? I'm a widow. What am I supposed to do? Let's check it out in the Bible. In the Bible. I'm not giving you my opinion. That's why the scripture says, follow not your own mind and lean not upon your own understanding. That's why so much trouble going on in America today. Nobody wants to believe what the book said, what the Most High said. But I'm going to show you today what the Most High said. And you can take it from that. Yeah, all right, it says, we're not binding, you're not binding no obligation after death. Read Matthew 22, 29 to 30. Matthew, get your Bibles at home and let's go. Matthew 22, 29 and 30.
And he answered and said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went. Oh, excuse me. Matthew 22, verse 29, 30.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay. Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High. For in the resurrection they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of the Most High in heaven.
Now, this is a particular scripture that brothers get tangled up in and not able to interpret these scriptures. The Lord is speaking again. Read that again. We're going to break this down to you.
Okay, Matthew 22, verse 29. Jesus,
Did you read 28?
Oh, verse 28. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be? Whose wife shall she be of the 7?
Now hold that. Here's a woman that married 7 men. And the question was asked, whose wife is she? All right, read on.
For they all had her.
They all had her as a wife.
Jesus answered and said unto them.
Now this is Yahweh. Jesus Christ answered and said unto this woman, or this group,
Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High. For in the resurrection they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of the Most High.
Yeah, for in the resurrection they are not given into marriage. You've got a twofold message here. One is material, physical. In the physical, we marry. In the spiritual, we don't marry. We become what? Like angels. That's what it's telling you. All right, go ahead. And angels don't marry.
Listen.
All right. Read Mark 12, 24 and 25. The chapter Mark 24 and 25.
And Jesus answering said unto them, Do ye not therefore err, because ye know not the scriptures, neither the power of the Most High? For when they shall rise from the dead, they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels which are in heaven.
Yeah, meaning that same thing. What is meaning? When you cease, your body goes into the earth, and your spirit goes into the heavens. And up there you don't marry. You're like angels. That's the breakdown of that scripture. All right, read on. That's it? All right, now, let's check about the bride and the bridegroom. Let's start with showing you. I want to show you some of the laws concerning marriage, being married. Show you some of the things you're not supposed to do. You know, our people are ignorant. And the people in this country are ignorant concerning the scriptures in the Bible. And I was a young man, I was ignorant until I found out the truth. Now I want to relate it to you. Pass it on down the line so you can become a better wife, a better husband, and follow the moral laws of the Heavenly Father. We're all based on law. This man has his laws, don't he? China had their law. Every country had their law. The Bible is the Constitution of Israel. And our laws is within that. Every country copies from our law. The laws that the Most High gave our nation. Why? Because those nations, those laws are universal. 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 They're all over. Now let's check out some of these laws that showing you what married people should not do. And stop doing this if you've been doing these things. All right, we're going to read now. Genesis 2:23.
Genesis 2. Okay. Genesis 2 verse 23. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
See, this is what the Lord is telling him. Read it again.
And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh.
See, bones of my bones and flesh of my flesh. In other words, she's relatives of mine. See? There wasn't no operation done. When the Lord laid her down, cut her rib and all, his rib and all. She was brought from the relatives of Adam. There were other people on the earth. I'm going to bring a message on that. Adam was not the only few people on the earth. So we're going to finish this now. Read on.
She shall be called woman.
She shall be called woman. A woman. All right, read on.
Because she was taken out of man.
She was taken out of from his relative side, out of man. That's what it meant. Okay. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the next verse. Let's read 24th verse.
Okay.
Genesis.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
All right, for your benefit, we're going to read this again and break it down. Read on.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother.
See, the message is, it's telling you the Bible. You must marry, when you marry, you must leave your mother and father's house. Leave them. Get your own house, your own apartment. Come out from among your mother and your father. If you're not prepared for that, don't marry. Wait till you get prepared. You can go get your apartment, a house, and put your woman in there. That's being a man. All right, read on.
And shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
Yes, he shall cling unto his wife. They shall become one flesh. One unit. Unity among them two. And keep your mother out of your business, your mother-in-law and your father. They can advise you. They can't run your business. You can go ask your parents, your mother, your father for advice. But try to run your own house. That's what a man does. You want to be a man? Then do what the Lord said. Look, trooper, you got to do it to become a man. So many weak men out there. Women tell me that when we counsel them, men are strong in the street, fight a back. But when it comes to the house, when they close the door, they become a weak man. And a woman does not like a weak man. Remember that, brothers. Remember that. All right, we're going on now. What verse we left off on?
Verse 24.
Okay. Now, 1 Corinthians 6:16. 1 Corinthians 6:16. We're going to read over there in the New Testament what it says now.
What know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body? For two saith he shall be one flesh.
All right, now we're going to jump back to Leviticus 18:6. That's merely saying even if you marry a harlot, you should become one. All right, let's go to Leviticus 18:6.
Okay. 18 verse 6. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord.
See, you ain't supposed to go with your aunt or your sister on her side or mother. I'm giving you instruction now concerning marriage.
Incest.
Yeah, incest. You're not supposed to be dealing in that, period. All right, we're going to read the 7th verse.
The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
Yeah, the nakedness of thy father, which is his wife. The nakedness of thy mother, which is her mother, thou shalt not uncover. Why? She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Don't have incest with her. You say something?
No.
Okay, go ahead. Now the 8th verse.
The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness.
All right, we're moving on now. Deuteronomy 22:30.
22:30. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt.
Yeah, that's still talking about your father's, your stepmother or your mother. All right, go ahead.
That's it.
Okay, now let's go to read the ninth. No, read the ninth verse.
Okay.
In Deuteronomy.
Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds.
Hold it now. Now, go back to the chapter we're in and read the ninth verse.
Yeah, that's it. 22 and 9.
Okay.
Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled.
Yeah, that's talking about fruit, you see. But we want to go back to Exodus 26. I mean, Exodus 16.
Okay. Exodus 16.
Yeah. The 16th chapter. Now read the ninth verse.
Okay. And Moses spake unto Aaron, say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Most High, for he hath heard your murmurings.
All right, now let's jump down to Leviticus 21:1.
It's 21. Okay. And the Lord said unto Moses, speak unto the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say unto them, there shall none be defiled for the dead among his people.
Go ahead, 7th verse.
Okay. They shall not take a wife that is a whore or profane.
Now, we understand that? Not take a wife that is a whore or profane.
Neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband,
Yeah.
for he is holy unto his father.
She's dealing with the priesthood. All right, read on.
Verse 8. Thou shalt sanctify him therefore, for he offered the bread of the Most High. He shall be holy unto thee, for I am the Lord which sanctify you, am holy.
That's right. All right, read the 13th verse.
And he shall take a wife in her virginity,
That means a virgin. Go ahead.
a widow or divorced woman, or profane or an harlot, these shall he not take, but he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife.
Yeah, see, it's naming the type of women that you should not deal with if you're a priest. Then it tells you in the end statement that she should be of your people, of your own nationality. All right, let's roll on. Next verse. Where you at now?
Verse 15.
15?
Yeah.
All right, let's
21,
go.
verse 15.
Let's go to 13 now. Oh, no, we read that.
Yeah, we read that.
All right, let's go to, what you got, 15?
Yeah.
You read that?
No.
I read 15.
Neither shall he profane his seed among his people, for I, the Lord, do sanctify him.
That's right. It can't be a horn or a hopper and a whoremonger. All right. Now let's go to Numbers 36 and 8. Numbers 36 and 8. We'll read.
Okay. Verses 36, verse 8. And every daughter that possesseth an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribe of her father, that the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his father.
Yeah, that was the law back then. See, they were divided up in tribes, 12 tribes. They were to marry. If one died, they married within the family, within the tribe. And this kept the things together. And it was his father's inheritance. Now let's go to Deuteronomy 21 and 10. Deuteronomy 21 and 10.
Okay. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy Father hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captives, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife, then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and she shall remain in thy house, and bewail her father and mother a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife.
Right.
Verse 14. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will. But thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her.
All right. Now we're going to jump to Deuteronomy 24 and 1.
Okay. 24 verse 1. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house.
2.
And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
Right.
And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife, after that she is defiled, for that is abomination before the Most High. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy Father giveth thee for an inheritance.
5.
When a man hath taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year, and shall cheer up his wife which he hath taken.
Yes, and there it is again. The man goes to war, he has a year off. All right. Now, concerning the woman, if you marry a woman, that law applies today, under the divine and spiritual guidance and laws of the Most High. If you marry a woman, and now a woman marry a man, something happens, you divorce. Now she turns around and marries another man, or he marries another woman, and he dies. She cannot be reconciled back to her first husband, because that is an abomination to the Most High. Remember that. All right, we're moving on now. Proverbs 18:22. We're going to move up into a higher level now on this, and show you the kind of woman that a man needs.
Verse 22.
And you men, you don't need to marry a woman that loves you. I mean, you shouldn't marry a woman that you love. Marry a woman that loves you, and you won't have any problem. Guaranteed. All right, read on.
Proverbs 18:22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord.
See, whosoever findeth a wife findeth a what? A good thing, and obtaineth favor of Yahweh, of the Lord. See? And the Bible teaches that the Lord gives a wicked woman to a wicked man, and a wicked man to a wicked woman. So you want a good woman. So you straighten your life out. Then you ask the Father, and He'll give you a good woman. All right, let's read on. Hosea 2:19. Now let's hold that, but let's go on to Jeremiah 29:6.
Jeremiah 29:6. Take ye wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there, and not diminished.
See, that's why you should have marry and have children. Not all these kids out of wedlock. No, we're talking about get married under the civil government, according to the laws of the civil government, and then have children. All right, now let's read Hosea 2:19. Hosea 2:19.
And I will betroth thee unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness, and in judgment, and in loving kindness, and in mercies.
All right. Let's go to Malachi 2:13.
Okay, 2:13. Okay. And this have ye done again, covering the altar of the Most High with tears, with weeping, and with crying out, insomuch that he regardeth not the offering any more, or receiveth it with good will at your hand.
14.
14. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously, yet is she thy companion and the wife of thy covenant.
Read it.
And did not he make one, yet had he the residue of the Spirit, and wherefore one, that he might seek a goodly seed? Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth.
Yeah, treat your woman right, brother. Love your wife as you love yourself. Read on.
For the Lord, the Father of Israel, said that he hath putting away, that he hateth putting away. For one covereth violence with his garment, saith the Lord of hosts. Therefore take heed to your spirit, that ye deal not treacherously. Ye, read on.
No. All right. That's enough of that. Now let's go to Matthew 5:31. Now this is Jesus coming up, Yahweh, and he's debating some of these people. And we're going to show you what he said. Pharisees and Sadducees. Read on.
Matthew 5:31. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, committeth adultery.
See, you're not supposed to divorce your wife because she burnt your toast, or because she didn't wash your clothes or clean up your house. You're not to divorce on those grounds. There's only one ground that you can divorce on, and that's you catch your wife committing fornication. You can divorce her. That's what Jesus is talking about. All right, we're going to roll on now. Give me Mark 6:17. Mark 6:17.
Okay. For Herod himself has sent forth and laid hold upon John, and bound him in prison for Herod's sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he married her.
All right, let's read on. The 18.
For John has said unto Herod, it is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife.
That's what Herod said to the king. It ain't lawful for you to have your brother's wife. And you know, he paid a heavy penalty for that. And the penalty he paid, as you read the story, was death. He was put to death. All right, now let's read Mark 10, chapter, the 2nd verse.
Okay, 10:2. And the Pharisees came to him and asked him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife, tempting him? And he answered and said unto them, what did Moses command you? And they said, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement, and to put her away. And Jesus answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart he wrote you this precept. But from the beginning of the creation, the Most High made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and cleave to his wife. They twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh.
That's in mind, mental, spiritual, and you name it. Right.
What therefore the Most High hath joined together, let no man put asunder.
Now here's the catch. Make sure you went to the Father, you young girls and young men, and pray and ask the Father to give you a mate. Those are the ones that Most High put together. Not these ones that go into the bar, go into the saloon, go into some physical entertainment and get a wife. Then you're getting a problem. When you go to the Father, He knows your needs. He knows what you need, and He'll give you the right type of woman. I know that from experience. Go ahead.
Okay.
What verse?
Verses 9. No, verse 10. And in the house of his disciples asked him again the same matter. And he said unto them, Whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her.
That's right, adultery. Going with other women is let me read that again. And he said unto them, Whosoever shall put away his wife and marries another commits adultery against her. Men commit adultery too. This is you committing adultery against your woman. Go ahead.
And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery.
All right. If you don't understand that word, look it up in the dictionary. Read on. Luke 16:18. Luke 16:18.
Whosoever putteth away his wife and marrieth another committeth adultery. And whosoever marrieth her that is put away from her husband committeth adultery.
All right. Read on. Romans 7:1. Okay.
Now know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband, so long as he liveth.
That's right. The woman is bound to her husband as long as he liveth. Read on.
But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband.
Right.
So then, if, while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress.
Don't we have a lot of adulteresses out here? Reading the scriptures good and ponder them. Read on.
But if her husband be dead, she is free from that law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man.
All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians 7:1.
7:1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman.
This is Paul dealing with the churches back there. All right, go ahead.
Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband.
Yeah.
Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband.
Read on.
Okay. That verse, that's speaking about sex, your consent together.
Yeah. Having sex with each other. Because he already told you it's better for you to marry than run out there with the Harlems and all these different women out there in the street. Today, women have herpes, gonorrhea, and AIDS. And you women, men have herpes, AIDS, and gonorrhea. They say 50% of the people will all be embedded with these diseases in the next 5 years. So you had better be careful. Better be careful. So meet a woman you love and she's not a virgin, and let her go take a test. See whether she have any of these diseases before you marry her. And then you won't bring no disease and sick babies into the world. There's enough of them in here now. And it's not good for you to let the baby suffer like that. If you don't give a damn about yourself, then do it for the kids' sake. Amen. Move on.
The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise also, the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife.
And this is a bad thing, especially among the women. You call yourself punishing the man by not giving him sex. You're forcing him to go out. It's your duty and obligation to take care of that man. All right? Remember that. All right, read on.
Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time.
Yeah, you got to make agreement on that. Not to have sex for a certain time. All right, go ahead.
That ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency.
Read on.
But I speak this by permission and not of commandment. For I would that all men were even as I myself. But every man hath his proper gift of the Most High, one after this manner, and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband. But, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband. And let not the husband put away his wife.
Right.
But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she pleaseth to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but the Most High hath called us to peace. For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? Or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? But as the Most High hath distributed to every man, as the Lord hath called everyone, so let him walk, and so ordain I in all churches. Is any man called being circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Is any called in uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of the Most High. Let every man abide in the same calling wherein he was called. Art thou called being a servant? Care not for it. But if thou mayest be free, use it rather.
Okay. Now let's go to 1 Corinthians 9 and 5.
Have we not power to lead about a sister, a wife, as well as the other apostles, and as the brethren of the Lord, and Cephas?
Okay, now read 1 Corinthians, you're there, 11:11.
Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord.
12.
For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of the Most High.
All right, 1 Timothy 3 and 2. Now, this is very important now, what I want to show you in the Bible, brothers, for you men. And this is strictly for the men. Read on.
Okay. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach.
All right, now, 1 Timothy 4 and 1.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
And forbidden to marry. See, that's what the scriptures tell you.
Verse 3.
He said, some will turn. Read 3 again then.
Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats, which the Most High hath created to receive with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
All right. Now let's read 1 Timothy 5:14.
I will therefore that the younger woman marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully.
That's right. Now let's read that verse again. I want you women now to take this in, as we're getting down on your case now. Go ahead.
I will therefore that the younger woman marry,
Go ahead.
bear children,
Bear children.
guide the house,
Guide the house. Take care of your house.
give none occasion to the adversary to
None.
speak reproachfully.
Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. All right, now let's go to Hebrew 13:4. Hebrew 13:4. Show you what the Lord is saying about that.
Marriage is honorable in all,
See, marriage is honorable. Keep it honorable. All right.
and the bed undefiled.
And the bed undefiled. No other man laying in your bed or woman lying in your bed.
But whoremongers and adulterers the Most High will judge.
But whoremongers and adultery, the Most High will judge. And if you men bring another woman in your house and put her in your bed, no matter how you clean it up, that scent, that odor is there. She'll know it. She will know you've had another woman in the house. And vice versa with the man. All right, now, and the Lord said, whoremongers and adultery, he will judge. Comes back to reap what you sow. All right, let's read on. Let's see, we're reading Hebrew. The next one, let's go back to Isaiah 5:4 and 5.
Isaiah 5, verse 4 and 5. Okay.
Isaiah 54, I'm wrong.
Oh, 54.
Yeah, beg your pardon. Isaiah 54 and 5.
Okay. For thy Maker is thine husband, the Lord of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The Father of the whole earth shall he be called.
Yeah, he's the father of the whole earth. And he's the father of the nation, the husband of the nation of Israel. Now let's read Isaiah 62, 4 and 5.
Okay. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land any more be termed desolate, but thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and the land Beulah. For the Lord delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married.
That's right. That's our land. Now let's go back.
Let me read verse 5. For as a young man marrieth a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoiceth over the bride, so shall the Most High rejoice over thee.
Now let's go back to Hebrew 13:4 again. And we'll repeat. Let's repeat that again.
Marriage is honorable in all,
See the nature of marriage? It's honorable. Oh yeah.
and the bed undefiled.
And the bed undefiled.
But whoremongers and adulterers the Most High will judge.
Yeah, you whoremongers and adulterers, the Most High said he will judge you. Remember that. Remember that. All right, now let's go to John 12 and 25.
Okay. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal.
That's giving you some instruction how to live. Now I want you to read the next. Look at the next verse. 1 Corinthians 13:3.
13:3. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing.
That's right. And that's the same effect in marriage. If you have not charity, it profits you nothing. If you have not love for your wife, for your children, it profits you nothing. Now we go back to the woman and show you the capability and things of a good woman. I think it's found in Proverbs 30 or 31 chapter. Let me see.
31.
The 31st chapter. Yeah. And it's dealing with a capable wife. We're going to deal with the 10th verse.
Who can find a virtuous woman?
See, this is the question. Who can find a virtuous woman today? All right.
For her price is far above rubies.
For her price is far above rubies. She might not be a virgin, but they're hard to find. But if she has a virtuous mind to do the right thing, to do right, then you have to settle for that. All right, read on.
The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her.
Yeah, he has faith in his wife. Go ahead. He has confidence in you, baby. In the woman. All right, read on.
So that he shall have no need of spoil. He won't have no need roaming around trying to mess with other women.
That's right.
Read on.
See this? What verse is
That we're in verse 12. Man.
Verse 12? All right, read on.
She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life.
She's doing good and no harm. She won't do him any harm. If she needs any money, she'll ask him. She won't steal the money out of his wallet, out of his drawer, or whatever. Read on.
She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands.
Yeah, she keeps herself busy making wool and linen clothes, making clothes. Years ago when I was a boy, women made up their kids' clothes. Pants, shirt, all that. Today the women, all they know is go buy some pants. They don't even know how to patch a pair of pants. She better wake up and learn, women. Read on.
She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar.
And she goes into faraway places, as a merchant ship do, and bring her food home. Oh yeah.
She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens.
Yeah, that means she gets up early in the morning, prepares her food for her family, and to tell her servant girls what to do. Read on.
She considereth a field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard.
Yeah. All right, read on.
She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night.
Yeah, which verse?
Verse 19.
19.
She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff.
In other words, she spins her own thread and weaves her own clothing. Weaves her own clothing. All right.
Verse 20.
And now they have patterns. You can go buy patterns. How to make a boy's shirt, make a boy's pants, man's shirt, or a woman's garment. Yeah. You poor people out there trying to buy garments to go to the different awards or socialize. Get your material, make the dress. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 20. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor.
All right, go ahead.
Yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet.
Yeah, in other words, she doesn't worry when it snows, because her family has warm clothing to wear. And you women know in the wintertime you're supposed to put long underwear on those babies. Keep them warm. All right, we're reading on.
She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Verse 23. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sitteth among the elders of the land.
Yeah, in other words, her husband is well known. One of the leading citizens, recognized, respected. Some of you young couple get married, you don't want to take baths and you smell. Just take a bath. Take it every day if you have to. Yeah. I'm telling you the truth. You know.
Verse 24. She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. 26. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness.
And she speaks with gentle wisdom, not shouting and hollering and acting like a maniac. Gentle. Gentle. Okay? I read on.
27. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness.
Yeah, in other words, she is always busy and looks after her family's need. I read on.
Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her.
Read on.
Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excelleth them all.
Yeah, in other words, he's saying many women are good wives, but you are the best of them all. This is how you talk to your wife. Talk to her. And I know she's the best. I read on.
Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised.
Yeah, in other words, charm is deceitful, and beauty disappears. But a woman who honors the Most High should be praised. You got a righteous woman, be happy about that. Be happy. All right, read on.
Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own work praise her in the gates.
All right. That's it. All right. Now, we'll continue on. Let's get the 7th chapter of 1 Corinthians. Bear with us. Get to the 7th chapter of 1 Corinthians. And let's see what the Lord has to say about the man and the woman. Questions we'll be dealing with about marriage. Questions about marriage. Let's start at 7th chapter, the 1st verse.
Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife. The
let me go back over this so you'll get a very clear understanding. A man should fulfill his duty as a husband, as other than just sex now. That's being a good father for your children, a good wife to your husband, supplying her with her food and things she needs. That's a man's duty. See? All right, now. And a woman should fulfill her duty as a wife, and each should sacrifice the other's need. All right, let's read 4 now.
The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife.
And that power means master over his own body. A wife is not the master of her own body, but her husband. In the same way, a husband is not the master of his own body, but the wife. All right, we're going on now.
Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency.
All right, read on.
But I speak this by permission and not of commandment, for I would that all men were even as I myself. But every man hath his proper gift of the Most High, one after this manner, and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn.
Right.
And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband, but and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband. And let not the husband put away his wife.
See, he's supposed to be reconciled back with his wife. See? And he must not divorce his wife. That's the breakdown of the scriptures. Go ahead.
Verse 12. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him.
In other words, don't lie. She shouldn't divorce him. All right?
For
All right, go ahead.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but the Most High hath called us to peace. For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? Or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife?
All right, now, I want to go back over one verse which is very important. The verse where it says your children, deal with the children in there. Bear with me a minute. Oh, here it is. Verse 14. Read the 14th again.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy.
Yeah, in other words, if this was not so, by divorcing, your children would be like pagan children. But as it is, they are accepted of the Father. That's why the Lord wants you to stay with your husbands, and husbands stay with your wife for the children's sake. It's a damn shame the way it is out here. Children growing up without the foul images. He's running out with some other woman getting more babies. Take care of the ones you got. That's what the Most High is telling you. All right. Now let's show you a little bit how you're supposed to live. Live as the Father called you. Keep the commandments, the statutes, and judgment of the Most High. The problem is this: nobody wants to obey the divine constitution. You want to do your own thing. The Lord said, "Follow not your own mind, lean not upon your own understanding." Because you people don't know a damn thing out there. But you read into the Bible, you'll learn all things. Laws, statutes, and judgment. Follow. You're going to be successful. Now let's see how the Lord said live as the Father wants us to live. Read verse 17.
Okay. But as the Most High has distributed to every man, as the Lord hath called everyone, so let him walk, and so ordained I in all churches.
All right, read them.
Is any man called being circumcised, let him not become uncircumcised. Is any called in uncircumcision, let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of the Most High.
What's verse?
20.
Oh, yeah.
Let every man abide in the same calling wherein he was called. Read on. Art thou called being a servant? Care not for it. But if thou mayest be free, use it rather. For he that is called in the Lord, being a servant, is the Lord's free man. Likewise also, he that is called, being free, is Yahushua Christ's servant.
All right, now, we're moving on. Let's go to the 10 Commandments and show you, married people, what you should keep in order to have a good or successful marriage. We're going to read the 10th Commandment. I think it's Exodus 20, the 20th chapter. These are the principles. These are the standard that you should base your marriage upon. Okay? If you want to be successful. We're going to read that to you now. All right, start reading.
And the Lord spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy Father, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy Father, am a jealous Father, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
How far down you went?
In verse 7.
All right, now. Worship no image. The woman shouldn't have image, or the man shouldn't have image. Should not be going to different churches. Should come to where they teach the 10 Commandments. All that other stuff they talk about is garbage. Going to heaven, see your mother, see your father, and all that. And they know, the churches know they're lying to you. Because you ain't going to no heaven. Your spirit goes to heaven. Your body goes back into the earth. So let's remember that. All right, give them the verse and let's roll on.
Verse 7. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy Father in vain.
In other words, don't take his name for your evil purposes. That's what he's talking about. Oh, yeah.
For the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
In other words, the Lord will punish anyone who misuses his name. Yeah.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy Father. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day.
In other words, he blessed the Sabbath day. So you that are married, get up, take your children to a church church that keeps the Sabbath. Sabbath began at Friday night and ends at Saturday night. I'm not speaking about Sunday. Sunday is the first day of the week. Sunday is Satan's day. Sunday is the devil's day. Sunday is the day of the false gods. Means sun. They used to worship the sun god. So they named their god Sunday. The Lord didn't say to keep that. If you read in Genesis, he said keep the Sabbath day. Keep it holy. Tells you how to keep it. You people on Saturdays doing everything out here. And that's the Lord's day. And that's not the proper way for a married couple to begin or to raise up your children. I read on.
Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother.
And that honor means respect. Respect. Respect your mother and your father. Oh, yeah.
That thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy father giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill.
Yeah, that kill means commit murder. 20 youth or gangs jump on one man and stomp him to death. Or these skinheads jump on a black man, kick him to death. Or you Ku Klux Klans hanging a black man, a Negro. And you've hung black women too. You're going to pay for them crimes. Damn it. The Lord said you're going to pay 1,000 times for these crimes you committed. That's why you're catching hell. That's why the Lord is sending tornadoes, storms, and floods up on your land and destroying you for the wicked deeds you have done in the past. You took Israel's name from them. The Lord said you shouldn't have taken their name. And you're going to pay for it. I read on.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Now that's part of raising a family. Having your children brought up right. We're going to read some more about that. What is the true definition of marriage? It's the union of a man and a woman to live together as husband and wife. According to the statement and see out in the Holy Scriptures. According to the divine standard that is set out in the Holy Scriptures, the Bible. Marriage is a divine institution. It was set up in the Garden of Eden. All right. It provides a relationship between husband and wife, along with the feeling of security. Because there is a climax of love, and because a parent's commitment has been made to each other. When establishing marriage, Yahushua Jesus Christ did not so only to provide a close companion who would be a completion of man, but also to make provisions for producing more humans and doing so within the family of the arrangement by him. Now let's jump on marriage right quick. Going over it again. Marriage of Sarah and Genesis and Abraham. Get Genesis 11:29. Marriage. Abraham and Genesis 11:25.
29. And Abraham and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abraham's wife was Sarah, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah.
All right, that's showing you what went down. Now, let's go back again and show you that marriage after death is not binding. If your husband's dead, your wife's dead, you're free to marry whosoever you will. Give me Matthew 22, 29, and 30.
Okay. Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High. For in the resurrection they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of the Most High in heaven.
That's right. All right, let's get Mark 12, 24, and 25. So I want you to understand what Yahweh said Jesus is teaching this thing. Okay? So you will know.
And Mark 12, 24. And Jesus answering said unto them, Do ye not therefore err, because ye know not the scriptures, neither the power of the Most High? For when they shall rise from the dead, they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels which are in heaven.
All right, now let's go on to
Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Yahweh Yahweh Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Yahweh Yahweh Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one.